So we've had the budget, we've had time to reflect and digest. What opportunities does the budget provide UK property investors and developers with in 2025? That's what we're going to focus on in this episode of Property Answers, and I'm joined as usual by my good friend John Howard. John,
how you doing?
A Labour budget. What opportunities does it bring us?
You know what? I think it's very important, and it comes with experience in my view, just to reflect, take a bit of time,
yes,
just to have a look and reflect and see what benefits there could be and what strategies you need to change in order to benefit from a Labour government.
Let's rewind a little bit. I wanted to ask you for your opinion on something. I think this has been the most leaked budget I can remember.
Yep.
It seems to be a case of thinking of some ideas, tossing them up against the wall, see what the reaction is. So stuff that was muted this time round, the fact that it hasn't come in, does that mean it's going to come round next time?
I think that this is their first bite at the cherry. My view, and I've spoken to a number of people quite senior in the Conservative Party, think the same. They think that things haven't quite worked as well as we hoped. It's all the Conservatives' fault still from a year and a half ago by then, or whatever it will be. Oh, but so unfortunately we've got to do this. We know we said we wouldn't, but we've got to do this. We've got to do that. So I think we can probably, because we're not going to get any growth, are we? We all know that, apart from the Labour Party, that is. So I think
no, we will get growth in public sector borrowing,
absolutely,
government spending,
and jobs for civil servants,
and growth in ASLEF train driver salaries.
Absolutely. Thank you for interrupting me. I can't remember what I was saying now. So, but you've also got to remember what they announced before the budget. So before the budget, they announced that they would give councils another 20 billion to purchase houses off the private sector. Now, this is great news. I've sold a number of houses in Birmingham to Birmingham City Council. I've sold 26 houses and flats in Fife to Fife District Council. So you can take advantage of these things. So the great thing about a Labour government is they will throw money at housing associations and the like, and they want to increase their social housing. Now, last year, they built 65,000 social houses only. They need to build 180,000 social houses a year. They are way off target. So if you're a small house builder and you can build these houses, sell them to the council, you can get them to sign up probably before they're even started. So you've got that guarantee of a sale. You may have to discount it 5-10%, but of course you're saving massive amount of interest on your money, because you know you've got, as soon as it's completed, you've got a sale. So I think that's one way you can definitely take advantage of this Labour government.
I think that's a very, very good point, and I think they will be hoovering up. I think another point for smaller investors, there are a lot of people with 2-3 properties in their own name and stuff like that, and they've been wondering what to do, because of course the new regulations really favour larger landlords with certain economies of scale. But I think what they've chosen not to do is increase capital gains tax on selling property held in your own personal name. And the other thing they've done is with the stamp duty. The stamp duty thresholds were halved by the Conservatives, and that expires in April 2025. And they haven't chosen to extend those.
No, they haven't extended. So we're going back to selling 125,000.
Exactly.
And 250 on the whole for first-time buyers. I think it's more in London. So that's going to make a big difference. And that doesn't give a very good message to first-time buyers, in my view. But they don't care. Do they care about first-time buyers anyway?
I think, who knows what they'll do to that. But I think the key thing is for smaller-time investors who are looking to perhaps sell off a couple of properties here and there, they benefit from no change in the CGT regime. And perhaps we normally get a spring bounce anyway in the property market. And plus the fact that we've got a cliff edge on stamp duty. You know, I mean, I had my They imposed that surcharge. They increased it from 3% to 5%. I needed my solicitor to get some documents out on budget day, and he couldn't do it because he said he was working until midnight, sorting out, bringing forward people's exchanges. I'm not being funny.
You should you genuinely should pay them a bit more. Then they get to the top. I find if I pay them more, they come to the top of the queue. But I might just be me.
My point is that created a cliff edge.
And
with that 3 to 5%.
Cliff edges are not good. And for first time buyers, it's going to creates a false market, and then there's a big lull afterwards. And I never think that's sensible. The Tories have done it, Labour have done it, and I never think that's sensible. Now, another way they've announced, but of course the devil is in the detail. So what they've announced is that they're going to provide another $3 billion. It's their favourite figure, I think. $3 billion to support small house builders selling to first-time buyers. Now, there's no detail about this, but I imagine that is going to come in a subsidy for first-time buyers' deposits. Because before the election, they were talking about 95%, or guaranteeing 95% mortgages. So I think that's what they'll bring back. Now, what they won't do probably, unfortunately for me, because I do a lot of conversions, they won't include new conversions in that. It'll have to be brand new property, whereas under the Conservatives with Help to Buy, it was also brand new conversions with 10-year warranties. They might just say anything with a brand new 10-year warranty gets the subsidy, but I have a feeling they won't, because they want to try and improve the housing stock, not the flat stock. There's plenty of flats about. They want to improve housing at the lower end. They're not interested in the sort of house you live in. They're interested in, one bedroom stroke, 2 bedroom starter homes. That's because that's what they're trying to achieve. Now, very interestingly, the shadow housing minister is now Kevin Hollinglake, and Kevin had a number of estate agencies up north, and I know his brother, who's a successful property guy as well. So he understands the property market, unlike
whoever it is.
Ms. Rayner, who has only bought one house ever. Well, no, she hasn't. She's bought 2. One she made a profit on when she should have paid tax and didn't, and the other one she allegedly lives in.
Benefiting from right to buy, which they've just withdrawn, or limited cutback for everyone else.
So there's 2 ways, I think, but I think those 2 ways are really for small house builders rather than investors. So what do you think about the investing?
I think we've covered a few things here. So first of all, there's more budgets for housing associations, council to buy housing. They want to increase the social housing stock. We've talked about how smaller landlords can prune their portfolios a little bit and benefiting from a nice uptick in the market up until April. We've talked a little bit about what was the point that you just said?
Well, which one? I made many good points. So many good points, Ranjan.
No, the last one.
About Kevin Hollinglake, the housing.
And I think the other area that they said they were going to touch, but they haven't touched, is the whole thing about investing through a pension and commercial property buying through a pension. So that's still good to go.
That's still good to go at the moment. But of course, what they have done, inheritance tax. To me, it's all like these farmers, making a big song and dance, and we've done a video about that, I know. But actually, when you consider that the amount of people that have private pensions in the UK, some of who are very diligent about their pensions and all the rest of it, are now going to pay 40% on their assets. It's going to be brought into an inheritance tax. As Mrs. Howard said, what is the point, darling, of saving in a pension? If we spend 100,000 on a horse or something, it's only really costing us 60. I said, well, that's a bit like buying a dress when you don't need one, isn't it? Because it's the 50% discount in my view. But you see a point, and I think many people might take the money out of their pensions and get rid of the pensions completely, over 55 or whatever you can do it, and maybe, just maybe, start buying property with it. Might do, because actually what's the point of having the pension if you're going to be taxed on it? The whole point of having the pension was it wasn't going to be taxed. Now it's taxed on it. You might as well have the money out, to be honest with you, because you're going to lose 40% of it.
Yes, yes, yes. And I think the other area that I'm wondering whether will be an opportunity in 2025 is property auctions.
Oh, hooray! Someone. Would you like me to send you the book? My book on property buying and selling.
You've got a book on everything, but let me run through my logic. I
did own Auction House UK, of course.
I think the stamp duty threshold has gone up now, 3% to 5% additional surcharge for investment properties for a company and all of that.
That might be good in the long run for the rest of us.
I think what will be crowded out will be the owner-occupiers buying properties from auction.
Yes.
Because of the time it takes to get a loan.
Can I just say good?
Yes, but yes, it is good.
Good for the rest of us.
I think there will be, if you've got your financing in check, there will be massive discounts, I think. The discount from open market to auction price, I think, will widen in 2025.
It should go back to what it was.
Yes.
You know, auctions are the trade market.
Yes.
That, you know, it's cash and carry. There should be a big differential between what you buy at auction and what it's worth on the open market, and that's your margin. Your margin.
Yes.
And recently, that has shrunk because so many what I call, and some of them won't like me saying it. They won't like me saying it. Some amateur investors who are happy to make a 10% profit on a deal, which is a waste of bloody time. They'll be out of the market. So we'll get back to property professionals, people who call it a property industry, because that's what it is, and we'll make more. The only way we buy property at auction at the moment, and we've just bought one in Stirling in Scotland in auction, is because it's very complicated and it's in a very poor condition. That's the only way we're buying property, because all the simple stuff has been picked up by amateur investors over the last 5 years, 6, 7 years.
I think that's going to come into play in 2025, and that's something we actually agree on, John.
Well, if you need any help with that, let me know, because obviously I buy at auction a lot, have done for the last 35 years. So if you need any help on that, just give me a ring, Ranjan. I promise I'll answer the phone for a change.
I have to buy a few at auction myself.
Really?
Once or twice.
Yeah.
I actually bought my first property from an online auction in 2012.
See, online auctions...
That scared the pants off me. Actually,
well, it should do, because the online auctions, you've still got to be very careful about online auctions. You really have, and it's a new version of auctions, it's called, or some rubbish. You've really got to be careful. It's all about the small print. Read the small print.
But that was the same in offline auctions.
Well, it is, but it's even more so online, because you'll find that a lot of the time it's the purchasers paying the commission, whereas normal traditional auctions, it's the vendor paying the commission. So please be careful, Ranjan. Any problems, let me know and I'll run through it with you.
I think that's the same as offline, because you've got to read the terms and conditions. I think there are some differences with online auctions, like which people have got to be aware of, is that the auctioneer knows everything. So if you are hovering your mouse button over the bid, they know. And they will just extend the bidding by
there is a massive difference between online, because a lot of these online auctions and so on, the purchaser pays the commission. That commission can be 20, 30, 40,000 quid. So it really is really important.
And a lot of people don't read those.
Well, they're crackers if they don't. Absolutely crackers, Ranjan.
But then I think one of the major differences with online auctions, there's so many people that would turn up to an in-the-room auction and buy something off the whim. But
well, they shouldn't do, but they do, I agree.
But you can't do that now, because you have to register and you have to give ID.
It's no fun anymore, is it?
And you have to give a deposit.
Oh, don't you?
So in most cases, if you've done all that, it's a premeditated bid, so you have...
Well, the auctioneer likes it, because they know who's bidding and who isn't bidding. And don't forget, when you get the results of auctions, if they don't get a bid on a property, it's withdrawn. It doesn't go into their figures. Remember that.
Yes, yes.
Very important.
We can do a whole video on how auctioneers massage.
We'll do that. Put that on the list.
We'll put that on the list.
Put it on the list.
Okay, if you've got any suggestions of videos we should do or topics we should cover, let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more. That's it for me and John in this video. See you guys next time.